Today we're going to analyze Catch by Robert Francis. First, let's look at the poem overview and analyze the meaning of the poem. Catch by Robert Francis is a short poem about two inexperienced boys writing poetry together. The poem itself is an extended metaphor about two boys playing a game of catch. During the game of catch, the ball they are using represents the poetry that the boys are writing. While playing catch, the boys experiment with different ways of throwing the ball, until one finds a pretty plump one in his hands and finishes the poem. Now that we know what the poem is about, let's analyze the scansion in the poem. The apostrophes symbolize unstressed syllables, and the title symbolizes the stressed syllables. Take a few moments and pause the video to look at the stressed and unstressed syllables in the first 4 lines of the poem. Now that you have looked at the scansion in the poem, let's look at the rhythm and rhyme in the poem. The poem's rhyming primarily comes from Francis's lines of rhymes distributed throughout the poem. For example, Francis says, with attitudes, latitudes, interludes, attitudes. Francis also gives the poem rhythm by using words with opposing meaning throughout the poem. This can be seen in lines 4 and 6 when Francis connects the words high and low, and fast and slow. Now we're going to see how rhythm and rhymes impact the tone. The tone of Catch is upbeat and playful. Francis creates this tone through his upbeat diction. Many of the rhymes in his poem have to do with sporty things, which can be seen when the author uses terms such as underhand and overhand. The rhythm and rhymes in the poem help Robert Francis create a silly and happy tone. Next, let's look at the meter in Catch. Catch features an iambic hexameter with feminine endings. This means that each line in the poem features 13 syllables. The syllables follow a pattern of unstressed and then stressed. Each line ends with an unstressed syllable. This is where you get the feminine ending from. The meter helps add the rhythm of the poem and gives it flow. Finally, let's look at the author's tone in relation to his message. Robert Francis's playful tone encourages his audience to experiment and have fun with poetry. Francis describes a poem as something that can be tossed together for fun and doesn't necessarily have to be serious with his upbeat tone. His tone shows that Robert loves poetry and wants his audience to discover a similar passion for poetry.